Good afternoon, students. I hope your day is going well. Let me just first of all say I hope each one of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving with you and your family. And we are now in week 7 of exploring the New Testament together. So this is actually going to be the final full week of the course. So this is the last full week. Next week will be a short week, and I'll be talking about some due dates at the end of video today. But your week 7 assignments went live yesterday morning, so those are now available for you. This week is going to be the same as it has been in the previous weeks in regards to the assignments you're going to be submitting. You're going to have your unit quiz, your discussion, your reflection, and your essay paper. So same 4 assignments, and this week the due dates are going to be exactly the same as it has been throughout the previous 6 weeks. So you'll have your initial discussion post due Wednesday evening, and then both follow-up responses to your classmates' post will be due Friday evening, again by 11:59, and then your unit quiz, your reflection, and your essay will all be due Sunday evening, again by 11:59. Once again, I'll be working throughout the week to get the previous week's assignments returned to you with feedback. And again, as I've said in the past, any questions that you do have in regards to your feedback, please do reach out to me with those questions. And again, as you are getting your feedback, you do need to go into the scoring rubric to be able to see specifically the feedback that you are receiving. So just wanted to mention that. Again, if you have any questions at all, please do reach out to me with those questions. Now, in saying that, as you get into week 7 this week, there's going to be 4 different articles that you're reading out of the ESV. There's 3 introductions, one on the book of Hebrews, the book of James, and the book of First Peter. So that's going to be 3 introductions you're reading this week, and then you're going to be reading an article on really the salvation. Basically, it's kind of showing us how we would share and present the gospel to someone. Again, your unit quiz is going to be taken from those 4 articles as you're reading out of the ESV, and then plus also with the assigned scripture reading for this week. And getting into that, so your assigned scripture reading this week is actually going to be coming from the book of Hebrews, and then first and second chapter of the book of James, and then also some select verses in First Peter. As I've mentioned to you in the past there, anytime you are reading through the assigned scripture reading, it's always good to be able to read the verses in front of the assigned reading and then verses behind the assigned reading, just because that's going to help you to have a better overall understanding of the context of the passage or the verses you're reading, and then also reading the footnotes as well. The footnotes will help you to understand specific words that are in the verses, or just help you have a better overall understanding of the actual passage that you're reading. So just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that as well. In regards to supplemental resources this week, you do have a video lecture that is Paul versus James, really looking at justification by faith alone by R.C. Sproul. And that article there will help you specifically as you are going to be writing your reflection for this week. So just wanted to mention that for those resources. And again, if you do use any other type of outside resource besides the ESV Study Bible, just make sure that you're properly citing that in your work cited page. So as you get into your assignments this week, as I mentioned, where your unit quiz is going to be coming from, looking at primarily those 4 articles that you're going to be reading, and then also looking over the assigned scripture reading. But for your assignments this week, your discussion is actually going to be coming from Hebrews chapter 11, which is what we call as the Faith Hall of Fame. So you're actually going to be reading through Hebrews 11, and you're going to be choosing one individual whose faith kind of stands out to you, and then writing your reflection on why that is the case. So looking at that person that you've chosen, and then basically explaining why that person's faith is an example for you. And so that's where your initial discussion post is going to be coming from, and of course then you'll be following up with 2 of your classmates responding back to their initial discussion post as well. Please make sure that you are, following those assignment due dates and you are getting those assignments submitted on time so that the no additional, points are going to be deducted off of your assignments. Now, as you get into your reflection for this week, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to be looking at James chapter 2, verses 14 to 26, and then also Ephesians chapter 2, 8, 9. And you're going to be looking at basically what James is teaching about faith and what Paul is teaching about faith. So you're going to be looking at those two chapters, really, or really with Paul, you're looking at just the verses there in Ephesians chapter 8, 9. And then with James, you're looking at James chapter 2, those kind of 12 verses there. And you're going to be reflecting on what James is saying about faith and works and what Paul is saying as well. And you're going to be writing your reflection, looking about how those passages are similar or if there's contradictions. And you're going to be answering two specific paragraphs, answering those specific questions. So again, just making sure that you are, as you're doing your assignments, that you're answering your questions thoroughly, that you are making sure that you're fulfilling all of the requirements listed there as well, that you're writing your reflection with at least 200 words, that you are double spacing, indenting the first sentence of your paragraph, and then you're also citing your sources as well. So just making sure that you are fulfilling all of those requirements listed there, so that you're not losing any type of points as you're getting your assignments submitted. So that's going to be your reflection for this week. And then your essay is going to be looking at James chapter 1, and then also 1 Peter chapter 1. And then you're going to be looking at those 4 specific questions on how James is talking to believers on how we are to deal with trials and tribulations when they come into our life, and then looking about what Peter writes about that as well. And so basically writing one paragraph answering both of those specific questions, and then looking how there's a comparison and contrast between what Peter says and what James says compared to what the world would say on how we face trials. So you're going to be, again, fulfilling your responsibilities, your requirements there with your essay, answering those specific 4 questions with at least 400 words, making sure you accomplish that word requirement. And then making sure that you're fulfilling those other requirements as well, that you're submitting your paper either as a Word document or PDF. You have a header, you are including a works cited page, and then you are double spacing your assignments, and then also indenting your paragraphs. So just making sure that you've got all of those requirements listed in there, again, so that you're not losing any type of points on your assignments. Again, if you have any questions at all about your Week 7 assignments, do reach out to me with those questions. And then again, I'll be working on the previous week's assignments, getting those returned to you as quickly as I'm able to. Now that gets us going into next week. So as I mentioned earlier, next week is going to be a short week. So once again, your assignments will go live on Monday. Only difference is that your initial discussion post will be due Wednesday evening, so that's not going to change. But everything else is going to be due on that Thursday, and I believe that is Thursday, December the 11th, I believe. So the buy term actually ends on Friday, which would be the 12th, but all of your assignments, your initial discussion post is due on Wednesday, but then all the other assignments, so both responses to your classmates, your unit quiz, your reflection and your essay all need to be submitted by 11:59 Thursday evening, which would be December the 11th. Again, make sure that you are reading your course syllabus, because no late assignments will be accepted unless there is some type of family or medical emergency. But if that is not the case, then no late assignments will be accepted unless something specifically has come up and you know that you're not going to be able to get your assignment submitted on time. If that's the case, then you need to reach out to me beforehand and explain specifically what the issue is, and we will put a plan together in order for you to get your assignments submitted in. Other than that, all of your assignments need to be submitted by Thursday evening, 11:59. Again, the initial discussion post Wednesday night, all of the other assignments have to be submitted Thursday evening, 11:59. Again, this is talking about next Thursday, December the 11th. I will communicate that again first of next week whenever the assignments are released for week 8, making sure that everybody gets their assignments submitted properly on time. With that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, if you have any kind of questions, please reach out to me. If I need to get additional communication to you, I will either use the course message center or I will post another video with additional communication. With that, have a great rest of your day. Look forward to connecting with all of you again soon.